Consequence Podcast Network.
둘, 셋, 파! 안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다.
Bora hey, iconic army.
Bora hey.
Hello, this is Big Hit Music. No, okay. We'll get to that in a second. But first, we need to talk about Jungkook's Golden live on stage.
Yes.
Incredible. This was his live concert that he did in Seoul. And it really just felt like he was hanging out with ARMY from the moment he stepped on stage and he was greeting us. It felt so great to be reunited with him in concert.
Mm-hmm. It felt very intimate between him and ARMY.
Yeah.
Like it really did. It almost felt like a live of his that he does. Like he just was so chill and very laid back with all of us. And it was just a really, really sweet moment for Jungkook and ARMY all together.
I agree. It really felt like an extension of those moments. I loved hearing ARMY chant Jungkook, Jungkook.
Yeah.
Like right when he came out, I felt like that was really the first time that we just hear just his name being chanted in concert. So that was definitely iconic. And then I loved a little bit later in the concert where they started to chant Jungkook.
So cute.
Oh, and he like blushed and he had this little like bunny smile on and he was like, yes, that's me.
He was
Very
adorable
cute.
throughout
So
the
adorable.
entire concert.
Every single minute I was just dying. Yeah, so sweet. Also, I love that his mom was there, like his parents there supporting him in his first like solo concert. That's like a really big deal and like momentous occasion. So it's awesome that they were there for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super, super sweet.
Yeah. And then obviously, oh my gosh, we have to talk about the VCR.
I know.
You know which one I'm talking about. It's the second VCR that he showed. And in it, we get a little bit of behind the scenes process. So we see him like flying to Budapest and filming the music video. But really, the main thing to talk about is the shirtless workout scene. Shirtless, working out, and then getting out of the shower also.
Yep.
In this VCR. Oh my God.
I can't believe that he put that in there, like shirtless working out, but then coming out of the shower naked. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy that he gave us that footage for this concert.
Actually insane.
Yeah.
Like nothing we ever thought, would ever conceptualize of receiving from any BTS member ever.
I have loved all of the ARMY edits that they've been doing of him on the elliptical shirtless and how he like throws his head back a little bit because he's really pushing through.
Yeah.
And there's ARMYs who are just like putting clips of him like in some of the lives that BTS had done where ARMY was like playing jokes on them saying like, oh, there's a ghost behind you or whatever. So you can see like J-Hope look over his shoulder and they've edited Jungkook coming by on that elliptical.
So good.
Same with like Jin and Jimin. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of edits like that. And I think Jungkook actually ended up liking one of them on TikTok, which is just hilarious.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
I loved seeing the TikToks of the actual ARMY in the crowd in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Because like we're watching it secondhand, like through a screen, you know, we're not watching it. We're not like in their concert experiencing that. Can you imagine screaming with all of ARMY as this is unfolding in front of you?
Well, I mean, it's just complete shock.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to already be so excited to be there in person, seeing him in concert, and then for that to be one of the VCRs, like nothing could have prepared you for anything of that level from Jungkook. Like just completely shirtless, working out into naked coming out of the shower.
Insane.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. What a moment. Super iconic. Yeah.
I really enjoyed just getting all of the other songs on Golden. There was choreo that was really, really cool and amazing, I felt, for Please Don't Change. That choreo is super, super cute, very fun. Jungkook just looks like he enjoys doing the choreo and that he like really was having fun with it. He was being a little goofy, smiling with his little bunny teeth. Like he looked so cute, and that it was just a fun time on stage. Yeah. It kind of changed the song for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've liked the song, but after seeing the choreo, like I've been listening to it a little bit more.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Totally.
And then also, I think one of the most memorable parts of the concert was the very end for the encore. Jungkook came out and performed Magic Shop, which is just so special. It has that call and response with ARMY and Jungkook. It's even more special that Jungkook worked on this song himself.
Yeah.
So it was very wonderful, super poignant, very tear jerking.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, like, I don't think there had been purple used as the lighting or like in the army bombs in the crowd the whole concert. So for the encore to come out, for the, right before the encore, it's like pitch black. And then all of a sudden shooting up from the bottom of the stage is these bright purple lights. It's like, oh my gosh, like it just was really impactful. I think I would have bawled my
eyes out if
for
I was
real.
there.
I would have immediately started bawling, just on seeing the purple lighting.
Yeah.
And then of course he gives this like super emotional, wonderful performance of Magic Shop where like he doesn't sing the other members' lines and he just sings his own lines and he's like soaking in the moment during the members' lines, and also knowing that Namjoon was there too at the concert just made that even more special and meaningful.
And also knowing that he knew the enlistment announcement was about to happen. And none of us knew, but he had that kind of knowing look in his eye now that we look back on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he also performed, the very last song was Still With You, which is one of my favorite songs of his that he's written and worked on. And I just thought that was really wonderful that, again, these last two songs are songs that he has worked on and that he's really had a hand in.
Yeah, and for him to just like you just said, knowing that he was about to have the enlistment announcement, for these to be like the last two songs he leaves us with.
Lyrically, yes.
I know.
Like Magic Shop saying like, the space will always be there for you and for me and for us. And then also like Still With You, like even though he's going to be enlisting here soon, he's still with us. No, Jungkook.
Yeah, it was an incredible concert. I'm so glad that he got to put it on and share that with us. And it's good that we didn't know about enlistment before it, so we could just enjoy it in the moment.
Yeah.
And now we're on to something new, enlistment time. Yeah.
If you've been wanting to learn a new language because you have an upcoming international trip over the holidays, or maybe you need a holiday gift idea, then Rosetta Stone is for you.
Rosetta Stone is the most trusted language learning app out there. It's been around for 30 years because it works. Rosetta Stone offers a lifetime membership. You can buy the program now and get forever access to all of the lessons for all of the languages and literally never pay a renewal fee. You can learn at the right pace without having to worry about an expiration date. And in the age of subscription services, to me, this is a dream. Brush up anytime on the 25 languages it has to offer, from Spanish, French, Italian, and German, to Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and even Dutch, Arabic, and Polish.
Yeah, at the last Iconic Hangout, several of our Army friends had talked about their travels to or plans to travel to Korea. And it really motivated me to go visit someday.
Yeah, and I feel like with Rosetta Stone, it could really empower us to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I would really love to give Rosetta Stone to my parents over the holidays. I speak Spanish, and my younger sister speaks a little bit of Spanish too, but my parents always feel left out. And I feel like it would be so fun to practice this beautiful language together with Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, and how sweet, like over the holidays, what quality time to all be talking in Spanish together too.
I know, how cute.
So don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. For a very limited time, Stanning BTS listeners can go get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. That's 50% off unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/today.
I don't have time to keep up with the latest fitness fads and celebrity workouts. I just need a fitness and nutrition plan that actually gets results. Caliber is a top-rated science-based fitness program completely customized to my needs and abilities, designed around my schedule. An expert personal trainer keeps me motivated so I stay consistent and see results. Get $100 off Caliber today at caliberstrong.com/podcast. That's caliberstrong.com/podcast.
So welcome back. We're your hosts. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Bethany, and this is Stanning BTS.
Your favorite informative fangirl podcast.
All right, today we're going to hang out for just a little bit. We have a Mini-Moni this week. So like we had just talked about, we're going to talk a little bit about just the on stage that Jungkook did. Then we're going to get into some of the enlistment announcements for the Maknaes and Namjoon. We'll talk about the remix that came out for 3D that includes Justin Timberlake. Hello, that was insane. Was not expecting that announcement at all. And then we're going to talk a little bit about an interview that Namjoon did recently where he kind of talks about his upcoming album, and it's just really insightful.
Right. So excited to get into it. But before we do, we want to say thanks, Iconics, for being here and for all of your support. If you'd like to support us even further and have access to our episode documents, our virtual Iconic Hangouts, and our sound checks, please consider joining us on Patreon at patreon.com/Stanning BTS.
Or if you'd like, you can make a one-time donation at paypal.me/Stanning BTS podcast. Your support helps us to improve the quality of our content and to continue putting out bi-weekly episodes, but any type of support is super appreciated. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much. We saw that some of you guys had made new reviews on Apple Podcasts this week.
Yes,
and
thank
you so much. It
you.
means so much. This month, we're on a mission to spread the word about Stanning BTS far and wide, and you guys are our secret weapon. If you love our show as much as we like bringing it to you, we need you to hop on over to Apple Podcasts. If you haven't already, hit the follow button and leave us a review. It's an easy and quick way to show your support, but it will also give you a chance to win some exclusive Consequence merch. So just head to the link in the description and submit your info along with a screenshot of your review, and that will put you into the running. And then we'll be shouting out our winners in December, so make sure to follow and review soon. Thank you for all of your support in helping Stanning BTS grow. And again, that's over on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this enlistment announcement for the Maknaes.
No!
And Namjoon, I know. So I'm just going to read the announcement here. So, of course, it begins, "Hello, this is Big Hit Music. We would like to inform our fans that RM, Jimin, V, and Jungkook have initiated the military enlistment process. The artists are preparing to fulfill their military service duties. We will inform you of further updates in due course. We ask you for your continued love and support for RM, Jimin, V, and Jungkook until they complete their military service and safely return. Our company will spare no effort in providing support for our artists. Thank you."
Man, of course we knew it was coming.
We knew.
We knew it couldn't be too far away. But to find out and just for it to be all four at the same time was I have to admit, I did tear up a little bit.
Yeah.
I told Jordan the news immediately and started to cry a little bit. Dang, they're really all going.
They really are.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of armies talking about how this whole time we're just enlist already, just do it, get it over with so that you can come back sooner. But now that they've actually announced that they're enlisting, we're wait, no, I take it back.
But you don't have to. Are you sure?
It's still very upsetting to see them go.
It definitely is. We can't prolong the inevitable anymore, and it seems that all four of them are now going to go in.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of speculating maybe before the end of the year, but we don't know how long the process takes for them to go in. But I do love at the end of this announcement where they said that they'll spare no effort in providing support for BTS during this time. So I'm excited that BTS are getting all the support that they need right now, and all we can do is continue to love and support them. And who knows what they'll have in store for us for the next 6 months before we get Jin back.
Yeah, really. Who knows?
It's really not that much time.
It really isn't.
You know?
Especially with Jin coming back soon.
Right. And
who
then
knows
J-Hope
what he's going to do.
shortly after. Jungkook Sok.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
You know he's going to be up to something.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, so.
It's official. It's happening very, very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about the surprise release of Jungkook's remix of 3D with Justin Timberlake. I was, of course, so shocked and excited to hear this. It was Thanksgiving Day, and I'm sitting with Jordan and his family, and I'm just I see the news on Twitter. I'm oh my God, he's really going to come out with a remix with Justin Timberlake.
I know. I had to check my sources a million times. No, it can't be real.
Is this real?
Rumored.
How is this? I really thought, because I swear the first place that I saw it was a random random TikTok, and I'm like, you can't trust TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, this could be an edit, you know? The fact that it's real, and what a day for it to come out on Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful.
All the gratitude.
All the gratitude to Jungkook and Justin Timberlake for this remix. Really great. Was super surprised by it. And what I love about this remix of the song is that they put Justin Timberlake right after Jungkook's first verse. And so Jungkook's like original second verse in the song has now become like almost like a third verse. So I just love like the placement. Like instead of Justin Timberlake just kind of being like tacked on to the end of the song, he's like right there in the middle.
I like the arrangement. It really works. I'm so
good.
glad that you pointed that out because it really does have terrific flow, and you know, he is just perfectly in the song, but Jungkook is like the core of it, and I love that he's very prominent at the beginning, middle, and end, and JT is just kind of right in there,
sandwich in the middle, like so great. I also love that Justin Timberlake started his verse with "Be careful what you asked for." The first time I listened to this song, I was like, are you fucking kidding? Did he really just say that? Like, I went back and replayed it immediately, restarted the whole song, like because we definitely asked for it. Like all of ARMY was like, this sounds like Justin Timberlake. This would be a great Justin Timberlake song. And they made it happen.
They really did.
Oh my God. And we should be careful what we ask for because it's really fucking good.
It came true.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for what we asked for because the song is so fantastic. Like, truthfully, better, way a million times better than the Jack Harlow verse.
A million times. Like, why couldn't this have been the original?
It should have been the original.
It should have been the original. Yeah.
Absolutely should have been the original. And I wouldn't be surprised if like Jungkook and Big Hit are like thinking the exact same thing. We should have, they're probably seeing the success of this song now and streaming, and imagine if this is what originally, like with the hype of 3D coming out, imagine if it was JT from the beginning.
Right.
Oh.
It would have been insane.
It would have blew up so hard.
Really a misstep to have used Jack Harlow originally. And I feel like a lot of ARMY didn't listen to 3D because of Jack Harlow's verse. And maybe even didn't even listen to the alternate version because it was so soured. Yeah. But now to get this version, it's just immaculate.
It is immaculate.
Yeah.
My sister, I was hanging out with her the other day, and she told me like she loves Golden, by the way. She loves Golden, but she had told me that 3D, she never listened to it, not even the alternate version, because she hated the Jack Harlow verse so much. She never even gave 3D the time of day. But then she, of course, heard that Justin Timberlake was on this remix, and she's like, well, of course I gotta listen. It's Justin Timberlake. I mean, huge. I mean, she's like an 87 or 89 baby. I can't remember. I think maybe 89. So like really grew up in the thick of the 90s and like huge NSYNC fan.
Amazing.
So she listened to it and she loves 3D now. She's like, the song is completely changed for me.
Yeah.
That's amazing. She has it like on repeat, which is just crazy because she first couple of times listening through with the Jack Harlow and the alternate version, she's like, not for me.
Right. Wow. I mean, it really does change the song that much. Their voices work so well together. Like hearing Justin Timberlake with like his great runs all over the verse. And by the way, his verse is great. Like I feel like he has like clever, catchy lyrics. There's nothing even remotely offensive. There is one line that you'll talk about here in a second, but like everything else is just so good. And so like Justin Timberlake has like this class in his lyrics, like in his 2020 Vision album. I love that album. And that is just, it's very sexy. It's all about like, you know, romancing someone, but it's very classy. And I feel like he brought that into this verse here.
I feel that. Yeah. There's a lot of rhythm in his verse too. Which is just everything we needed following that
it's
Jack Harlow
JT
verse.
And it suited the song so well also. So
it did suit it. His style suits the song better.
Right.
Like Jack Harlow, his style does not suit this song at all.
No. I just saw Jack Harlow perform at the Thanksgiving like football games, and it sucked, by the way, at halftime show. And the songs were like, I mean, objectively trash. I'm like, this dude got the halftime show, and I already was hating on him because of this 3D verse. And then literally later that night, this song came out, and it was just like redemption.
Yeah. Which is what this song feels like. It feels like a little bit of redemption, redeeming from the original song.
Totally.
Yeah, the only lyrics that are getting some kind of dislike from ARMY is that Justin Timberlake called Jungkook Jung at the beginning of his verse. And, you know, it could have been better if he would have said like JK and JT. That would have been really, really smooth.
Or even just one syllable, just Cook. Cook would have been better maybe than Jung.
Yeah. I did see some discussion in that, like, maybe because for some reason, like on Spotify, I don't know about like on Apple Music, but his name is written as Jung space Kook.
Even in the Big Hit announcement, they wrote it that way.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see why they write it that way, but I think, you know, to someone who's not used to, I guess, any kind of like Korean names, they should have really done some research before just calling him Jung. But Kayla, you had mentioned, like, of course they had to run his verse by like Big Hit and Jungkook, right. So there must not have been any like dislike for it.
I just felt like when I heard that discourse, I just felt like, well, Jungkook must have been okay with it.
Yeah,
maybe just like for the rhyme of the song, for it to fit in, like Jung and JT maybe does sound better than JK and JT. Like it's maybe a little bit of a mouthful. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just no one calls him Jung.
No one calls him that. That's all it is. Yeah.
Some people have called him Gook before.
Totally.
But Jung like, is a little like he doesn't really go by that.
Right.
Yeah. So
maybe Justin Timberlake felt like he was like nicknaming, but that's not really a nickname.
Yeah, but it's not a nickname that he goes by usually.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. So I don't know. But other than that, like to me that's pretty minor, you know, compared to the complete shit show that Jack Harlow's verse
right,
was.
Not a whole verse like built on misogyny and bad rhythms, you know, like it could be much worse than that. Right. So yeah. Anyways, I loved it, and I do feel like it's like an apology to the Jack Harlow version. Like in my mind, not originally planned to be created and released, but after that and after hearing ARMY, I do think that they responded appropriately.
I do think that this was the response to that backlash. Yeah. So they released a better collab.
Much better. Yeah.
Not and for everyone, but I would say much better than
right. And
the
now
original.
When we think back on 3D, we'll probably think of this version instead of the Jack Harlow.
It's more iconic.
Way more iconic.
Justin Timberlake? I'm sorry. Coming from NSYNC, like one of the biggest boy bands.
Of all time. Yeah. Who's doing like a restart type of thing.
Yeah.
Also like with the album art of the singles, like Golden, also it's like a golden version of 3D. So fucking iconic.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
Totally.
Love it.
I love that too.
Yeah.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Hey, welcome to Kyle Meredith with Consequence. This is where we check out some of the cool new things happening in the Consequence Podcast Network. I'm Kyle Meredith. Today, I get to talk with Adam Unz to discuss the latest season of The Opus.
Hi.
Well, first off, Adam, congratulations on the new season.
Thanks, Kyle.
So, which album is in the spotlight this season?
As always, it's presented by the Consequence Podcast Network and Sony Legacy Recordings. It's a music history series, and it's coming back to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Alice in Chains' sophomore album, Dirt.
What a classic album. I completely remember hearing it, you know, those first few listens back when it came out, 92. I probably picked it up in 93 and 94. It was just dark and heavy and so melodically beautiful at the same time.
I know. Dirt was truly a genre-bending collection that defined an era. So we're going to help our listeners to explore the context of what was happening back then and also hear how it still inspires artists and fans today.
Sounds great. And you can listen to it at consequence.net or, of course, wherever you get podcasts. It's great talking with you, Adam. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Kyle.
I really want to talk about, we both really want to talk about this interview from Namjoon. I had seen him promote it on his Instagram story, and then you sent it to me one morning over this holiday break, and you were just like, this is really good. You should read this. So we spent some time in Reddit, and it was just interesting because he spoke more frankly and I feel like less cryptically than he normally does. And he had some answers that surprised us in some ways, but they were so refreshing. And I think we got this like just before the announcement, maybe the enlistment announcement.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting perspective before we got that announcement as well.
I actually don't know when it came out. In case you're curious, the interview is from, I've never really heard of this, but it's 032C. And I don't know if it's like a magazine or whatnot, but like there's a photo of like RM on the front of it. And just like you were saying, Kayla, like he really promoted it. And so it caught my eye and I felt like I have to go and read this. And there were a couple people who had done translations. So we got some really good translations of this article. So we kind of just want to talk about what was discussed. And yeah, he had a very refreshing, less cryptic response to a lot of these questions.
Right. It definitely felt like he was speaking more openly, and I really enjoyed that from him.
Yeah. So at the very beginning of the interview, they really ask him about just like, how do you define yourself? Saying like, it sounds like you have a really like a mission and a calling. And, you know, he just defines himself in a very profound way, kind of talks about where his headspace is right now, saying that he's in a good place. You know, he just goes on to say that like, you know, he's a person who has dirt, filth, love, kindness, like he's all of these things, and that he just wants to make sure that he's presenting himself candidly to the world, which is just very Namjoon of him. And I think we're so appreciative of seeing the multifaceted, you know, person that he is, and not just like that perfect RM image of BTS, that leader, that perfect leader.
I feel like he's pushing back against that so much, that image of needing to be perfect and just wanting to be candid. And I love that he said right there, like he says, he lists off a couple different people, the people around me, the industry, or the world. And I just, this is like, we're not going to mention it every time, but he mentions the industry like a handful of times in the article. It really stood out to me as we were reading through as like, he feels like he's taking it on. Like he has a mission now. I don't know what it is. I'm sure we'll find out, but like he's wanting to transform something.
Yes. And going off of that, my favorite line of his is that he ends up saying, I feel like I'm born to transform something, and I think I've done that once with BTS. Once.
Fuck. So he's like, I'm ready to do it again.
Yeah, he's ready to continue to transform. Like he still feels this calling to transform something in this world, and that he's already done it once with BTS. Like it seems like he's just, he's not fully fulfilled. Like he feels like he should be doing more, or feels called to do more.
I love hearing this from him.
I know.
I absolutely love it. Yeah.
So yeah, the interviewer is like, yeah, you sound like you have a mission and a calling. And he just goes on to say like, he tries to stay positive and use his influence, and he talks about art and his personal individuality and how he wants to just continue to expand on that. I think he ends up mentioning that he likes making people laugh and things like that too, which I just think is really cute.
I love what he said there about his art too, about how he's approaching his art right now, where he said, what I want to do is about the most beautiful thing about my art is turn my personal individuality into universality. So like making his personal experiences, what he goes through, like applicable to anyone who hears it or interacts with it. And I think that's such a interesting way to look at like making pop music and like making what he makes, because he's still, no matter what he's making, he still wants it to be so true to himself and find a way to transform it into something that the masses can connect with, which he's such a unique,
that's an artist mindset.
You know, like, so it's just, you know, a challenge to do. Yeah. I also wanted to talk about, in the article, he speaks a little bit about what it means to be K-pop and what it means to carry the K label. And the interviewer kind of asked him what he thought about that, and like thinking that like the Korean government seems obsessed with this K label, and that anything that's Korean has to have the K label in front of it. And like, what's this reasoning behind it, and are you on board with it, kind of question. And I thought this was so interesting because you and I many times on the podcast have like been like, BTS isn't just K-pop. Like, they're so much more than that. Like, they have so much different genres and so much range, and like, this is pop music, like anyone could listen to it. Like, we felt like the K label was limiting them and making people not open to them and not wanting to partake because the K label said that's not for me, or like that's not something I know or that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting, Namjoon's response here, where he felt like it's up to, he kind of didn't have a strong opinion, but he felt like it's up to each artist to individualize their identity, and he feels like the K label helps that individualization, and he's not negative about it, and he's grateful that they're trying to name something Korean because he's so proud to be Korean and he loves his country so much. So he just thinks that he just had a different mindset to it.
Yeah.
And I think that he doesn't mind the label, and he like carries it still with pride here. So yeah,
I love how much pride he has behind it too. And I found that this was just a really fantastic question because it's been talked about a lot recently, especially with like a lot of the English discography that groups are doing. Like, is the removal of the Korean really going to appeal to more people because of that loss of like a potential K label?
Right.
And, you know, I don't really know how I feel about it. You know, I feel like it's still K-pop, you know, and I do think that K-pop has a sound and there should be pride behind it.
Right.
Because
K-pop definitely has a sound.
it's had such an impact. Like, they should, you know, it's something that is coming from Korea, and, you know, it should still continue to be like tied to Korea, I feel like. But I do think that because it's considered K-pop or something, people become very closed off from it. And so I love the quote from Namjoon in this article is that he says, "So I want to tell people, don't knock K-pop until you try it." Like, I just think that's so cute that he said that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah, where it's like, it's just because, you know, there's a K label to it, you know, just give it a shot and see what you think.
Yeah, I love that he said that too. That was in a response to another question where he was like, what's like your sound? What's the K-pop sound, you know? And he talked about something that we also tell people when we talk to them about K-pop is it's not just the song. It's the song and the music video and the choreography. Like, you have to take it all in at one time. It's meant for all three of those things to be consumed, to like really get it, you know? After you get it, you can listen to it on its own all the time. You don't have to like watch a music video every time, but like, it's meant to be consumed that way. And I love that he pointed that out here too. Like, K-pop is not, you know, it's not only the music, it's this like 3-dimensional thing going on here that, not to mention 3D again,
but it is.
It's all of that. And he says it's like this huge package. So
I mean, think about how many songs you listen to on the radio or whatever, but you haven't actually seen the music video for it because it's kind of insignificant. But in K-pop, you have to have seen the music video. You know the choreo, you know the style that is in that video.
Right. And it all contributes, and it's going through your mind every time you hear the song.
Yeah.
And it just like makes it that much better. And like, the songs are always great on their own. Oftentimes it's like a fucking banger. You don't need the music video for it to be incredible, you know? But like, just getting that as a package is like top tier production. And you just don't get that anywhere else besides from K-pop.
Yeah. And all the content that follows.
Right.
Too.
The stages and the remixes or special performances, the behinds.
Yeah, the photo shoots.
Right.
All of it.
Yeah.
This is really random, but I just want to mention that in the article, he also is asked about like how he feels about fashion in general and being just a cultural influence and, you know, being a global ambassador. And Namjoon, when it comes to fashion, he's kind of talks about how it doesn't appeal to him as much as it used to because he's discovered art. And so he really has valued art more, and like that's been more of an outlet for him than just like his actual fashion.
Right.
But it's just so funny that he like explains to the interviewer saying there's this thing called airport fashion, and he goes in on how like he's expected to wear new clothes every time he's at the airport, and it just made me think of our airport fashion episode that we had on this podcast, and that like it very much is a thing. And it's just amusing to me, like in a really great way, to hear Namjoon say airport fashion.
Right.
And define it.
Right. I just love that. Just iconic. How many
Yes.
times did I say that this episode? But
Yeah.
really,
Truly.
that's truly iconic. Like,
Yeah.
how many times have we talked about airport fashion? For real. Yeah. At the end of this article, he discussed his upcoming album, Point Blank Period, where the interviewer asked what he could tell them about what he's working on. And he said, largely it's going in the opposite direction of Indigo. But it's not just lighthearted and fun. When people see me, they think I'm a very serious, gentle, and nice person. But I'm not just that. There are many aspects of me that aren't so serious. I also like making people laugh. So I'm really interested, like, what type of music he's putting out here, what message he has. It definitely sounds like it's going to be more lighthearted, but maybe intentionally silly, or like going to provoke you into like other moods that we really haven't gotten from Namjoon and his music before.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. And we definitely know, like, for sure he has this
Another album
coming out before he enlists, or maybe
Is that
not.
what it's called? Point Blank Period?
Oh no, I just said that. Sorry if
my
that was
God.
confusing. I was just saying
His upcoming album, Point Blank Period. I was like, wait, what?
He's just stating, like, for us, Point Blank Period. Obviously, my album's
have an
coming
album.
out. I'm making it, because he hasn't really actually said. He's just posted Instagrams, whatever.
I see.
So yeah, sorry if that was confusing, but yeah, he has this album coming out. We don't know if it'll be. I mean, I was thinking before enlistment, but now, I mean, who knows? Maybe he's going to put it out once he's in and whatever, but
yeah, I'll be curious when it drops.
We shall see.
Yeah.
But yeah, really interesting article. We'll link it in the description, so you guys should go read it, because it's super good. Yeah.
All right. Well, to kind of wrap things up here, I just wanted to share that to celebrate all of what BTS has done so far in Chapter 2 and all the amazing content that we've received in Chapter 2, we're going to be putting on our own award show at the end of this year, so be looking forward to the first BTS Stannies.
Yes.
I am so excited to do this episode. Like, Kayla, I've been texting you like crazy about it, just like thinking of like categories we can come up with. It's just, we have so much BTS music that of course they can have their own award show.
Right. Yeah. And they need it, and they
all
deserve
for Chapter
it.
2.
Right.
Yeah.
And who's going to put it on besides us?
Right.
So we're going to put on an award show just for them, give them all the awards in all the categories, and we're excited to bring it to you.
Yeah. It is going to be so fun to be like, I don't know, coming up with the categories, coming up who is going to be in the categories, really like weighing our options. I feel like it's going to be so tough to choose, but I think it'll be really fun for you guys to listen to too, and just, you know, kind of revisit all of their solo work.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Amazing. So BTS Stannies coming up. Be looking forward to it.
Yeah, be looking forward to it, guys.
Yeah. We want to say a special thanks to our supporters on Patreon, especially the VIP iconics, Eileen, Michelle, Holly, Meg, Rachel, Robin, and Deja. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us and write us a review on Apple Podcasts. And you can find links for all of the things in the description.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for Stanning BTS.
Welcome to the Agrihood. Carnes Crossroads is a new home community with a farm-to-table lifestyle. Just outside of Charleston, here, community is defined by gathering together and our deep connection to nature. Our future farm and amenities are taking root and blooming into something you've always dreamed of in a fun, healthy, and social environment. Come home to the Agrihood, where you can plant roots and thrive.
Learn more at carnescrossroads.com.